We're going to go into overtime real quick. I want to pose a question. Let me bring this up.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't understand that. I mean, I worked for a Republican nominee, now Senator Mitt Romney, and I can assure you, when we were 9 days out, we were going to multiple, Candace, I was so exhausted, multiple cities a day.
Mitt was behind at the polls.
Cautiously optimistic about this election. I would not underestimate Donald Trump despite what the polls are showing. And so with that mentality in mind, if I were advising the vice president, I would make sure I'm hitting states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida, those states that Mr. Trump won by 1% or 2%. And if I have to double up, meaning visit those places more than once, I would do so. You cannot take days off, Candace, this close to a pivotal election where we know absentee ballots are going to be contested and some of them will be discarded. You have to have all of those things in mind, if you will, as you think about the math of what it will take to get to that 270 electoral votes.
Jetta, some might argue, though.
All right. I'm gonna show that.
Carlito, this reminds me of your local team. That's the 28-3 in the Super Bowl where the Atlanta Falcons were ahead, and they just try to run out the clock and they stop getting aggressive. And it's scary that even no matter what's happening right now, no matter all the polls that are showing that Biden's dominating, the hubris and Biden's the first candidate that didn't have to run for president, that he was anointed because he didn't run in the primary. There were states that he won that he literally did not have a campaign office in. He's the first presidential candidate that didn't have to run for president. It was just given to him.
So first of all, let me correct you first. That's not my team. I don't watch Concussion Ball, so keep going.
I think again, but it is part of the playbook. The playbook that they run is the less he talk, the less they see him, the less he's gonna mess up, and so people it's actually what works. People don't want to be hearing Biden talking and then just messing up, and even though. In the debates, I gotta give him credit. In the debates, he held his own. He did pretty good. So, but yeah, just stay in the basement for 7 more days. You got 67 million vote. Hopefully a lot of them are Democratic. November 3rd, I think people already. If you haven't made up your mind, 7 days. 7 days before the election, what is really gonna matter? So it is part of the playbook. Obama's telling him hey Joe, just stay in your basement. Don't come out. So, and then that guy, I forgot, I didn't catch his name, but he lost me the minute he said he worked for Mitt Romney. So,
something though, people saying that, but Biden is holding events. I read that he was having events with Cher. He had a concert with Dave Matthews Band or somebody, so he's having, so he's doing stuff, man.
Way to really drive out the youth vote on that one.
I'm saying that was a fundraiser one, I think. That's a fundraising. But he had a whole concert with somebody, other people too. Some rock. I don't know if Bon Jovi was one. I don't remember. Yeah. But the point is, he is out there. He might not be doing big rallies like Trump, which is good because we don't want everybody catching COVID. But he is out there having events and doing some things. So,
Biden doesn't need to be out there every day, though. Biden just do your song here and there, show face here, drink your Red Bull before you go out on camera. And then before the Red Bull run out, just be like, thank you, and keep it moving.
Yeah, but they're trying to push that, narrative that he doesn't want to be out there, whatever. But he really is. Maybe he shouldn't be as much as you, but he really is trying right now.
Go ahead, Gabe.
COVID has been the best thing for the Biden campaign because imagine them having events in gyms and 10 people show up like what was happening to Hillary. Because you could be sucking it up and voting for him, but that's not going to give you, gym fulls and stadium fulls of people. So that would be a terrible optics if he's up in the polls and he can't get 10 people out to his event. So
he'll bring Bernie to every event.
Yep. So even then, bringing Bernie, and they were still not drawing people because remember, as progressives, we don't back just a person. We're not like the Republicans who are cultists, back policy. And Bernie, quit us, then we let him go, and we're on to the next one. We want policies. We want to help the working people and the poor of this country. We don't back just individuals. We back the movement and the working class.
Yeah, so I want to make two quick points.
It's funny though, like
Go ahead,
how they all of a sudden, like, the establishment is, I forgot, I think it was a video that you, Case, we put in our account where they were like, oh, we would like to thank AOC and Bernie for pulling all these people for Joe Biden, because the polls show in their head. But I guarantee you that if there was the opposite, they would be like, oh, it's Bernie's fault. He's not driving people to the poll. Like, how dare him? It's, I don't know, man. It's nuts.
I was just about to make that point. I wonder, we hear about Obama, who joined the campaign recently. I think I heard about him doing like 2 events or something. Like, I don't know if he did 2 or 3 events, while in 2016, Bernie did like 50 events for Hillary Clinton, and they still wasn't satisfied with the amount of time he was campaigning for her. Yeah. And then the second point I want to make is, how bad is our electoral system when literally the candidate it benefits a candidate to stay out of the spotlight, to not speak, and that would help them to win.
How bad is the candidate?
How bad is the candidate? But I keep thinking about ranked choice voting. Like, if we had a full slate of choices, imagine if right now you literally had, and there's no voter shaming, that you can pick Libertarian Party, Green Party, Socialist and Liberation Party. There's the Constitution Party. There's so many other parties other than the Democrats and the Republican that would be automatically, they would be viable if we had a national ranked choice voting at the national presidential level.
Yeah. Unless Cuomo was president, because then he would get rid of fusion voting.
But just think about how bad. Think about how bad is that your playbook is to stay like away from the spotlight. Then that's your winning playbook. That's how depressing this election is. Like, that's your playbook. Your playbook is the less that people see of you, the better it is, and the more like vote you could potentially get.
Yeah. And Hillary part of that playbook being, thank goodness for coronavirus.
Yes, listen, COVID and Trump beat Trump. Like, there's nobody could say like Biden actually beat Trump. Trump beat Trump because he just messed it up. I think we had this discussion, right? Pre-COVID, Gabe and I were saying like Trump was going to wipe the floor with Biden. It was not even close, and Trump beat Trump. He couldn't do it. All he had to do was fix this thing, and then he would have totally won.
And the sad part is he had all the power. Go ahead, Carlito.
Related to COVID, but a little different. Why is the head of the coronavirus task force having events with no masks, with multiple people, rallies, when like 5 people now in his office have caught the virus or tested positive?
Who is the head of his task force?
Mike Pence.
Oh, dude.
That should answer your question.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, he's the head of the task force. He's supposed to be showing an example to people, even more than Trump, because Trump, we know he's don't care. But I mean, Pence at least sometimes try to pretend that he cared at all, and he's out there no mask. I don't know if he like Trump threatened him, he was gonna kick him or punch him in the face if he wore a mask or something. Like, what? I don't get it. No, or mother.
Dude, we're talking about Republicans, man. Come on, like, Republicans don't lead by example in anything.
So the point.
Tell me, like, the last Republican that did something that was like, oh yeah, we led by example.
So to John, to your point that you were talking about before about how bad Donald Trump's policy and his political instincts has been, I was thinking something that I would do. And the thing is, back then he did not even have the power of the presidency. Right now he has the power of the presidency. What I would do is create an executive order, like allowing Medicare, which is already in place, so it's not like it's a program that needs to be started from scratch. During the COVID, I would put in an executive order that everyone's going to get Medicare for all. Now, yes, the House has the power of the purse, but even if they deny it, right? Let's say they say no, or let's say it goes to the courts and the courts deny it or whatever. It at least shows me I'm trying to do something for the people. You know what I'm saying? You have that power of the presidency. You have the bully pulpit. He could win. He could come back. I don't know.
He could do it, Because if Trump could take money away to build his wall,
exactly,
Biden could say the same thing.
That's my
point. And then if they have to take it to the Supreme Court, I mean, they're going to have to go back on their own words because they're letting Trump do it. So they're going to go. I mean, they're more than willing to be hypocrites and flip flop. I understand that, but at least show the people that they're crap.
Yeah,
just show them. You got to put them in a spot where they have to show their true colors, man. Exactly. You can't just assume that they're going to be, oh no, they're going to stop me, so I won't even try. No, you got to try. You got to do everything you can. So they got to put the name to a face. They got to put their face and to their votes. They got to put the name to every vote. You know, you got to make them known what kind of people they are. And you can't do that by being weak.
Totally. So in the comments below, let me know what you think. Did you agree? I saw a lot of comments that agreed with everybody here that said Joe Biden should just stay in the basement. Even Kyle Kalinske in that tweet.
yes, they can stay. Joe, if you're listening to us, just don't come out. The next time you gotta come out is when you win. If you win, that's it. We don't want to see you.
Yeah. So do you agree with that strategy? Like and let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe.